Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us at the Ford Ironman Coeur d'Alene, the 9th running of this wonderful race up here in the Pacific Northwest. And joining me this weekend as normal, Matt Lieto. He's going to be out in the field, and McKeely Jones joining us in studio for most of the day. McKeely, we missed you. How are you?
Thank you. It's probably nice to be missed.
It is nice to be missed, I tell you what, it sure is. But I tell you what about the weather this weekend? We've had some nice weather during the week, but the weather tomorrow for race day is going to be very close to perfect.
No, Greg, you're absolutely right. You know, conditions out there on race day are actually going to be for fast conditions. You know, it's going to start a little bit low in the 46-degree range, and then by the afternoon, by the time our Ironman athletes get out on the run, it's going to be about 70 degrees. The humidity on race day is going to sit around 43 degrees, but that will creep up a little bit during the day. The winds, fast bike course, because the winds are going to be west to southwest at 7 miles per hour. Lake temperature, it's a chilly 58 to 56 degrees, so the athletes are going to want to stay warm after they get out of the swim.
I'm sure they will. They'll get off onto the bikes and that blood will start pumping, no doubt about that. All right, on the swim course, we've got 2 laps. Explain the swim in your eyes.
Yeah, the swim's 2 laps, great for spectators, great for the athletes. It gets them a chance to break up this counterclockwise swim. You know, as I said, it's a little chilly, but I think it's going to be a little choppy, but not as choppy as we've seen the last few days.
I think it's going to be perfect. And the bike course, 2 56-mile loops. You do 7.5 miles out of town one way, then you come back. So 15 miles, you're back in town. The spectators get to see the athletes for the very first time. Then they go 41 miles out the other way and back over English Point and Hayden Lake as well. It's really, really pretty out there. 2 little turns that they have to be concerned about. Spectacular is probably a better word. And then the run course.
Yeah, the run, we go back again to another 2-lap run course. The slight change this year is Creeper Hill, that you're affectionately nicknaming.
The lagger.
Yeah, the lagger, the creeper, because definitely that fatigue's going to creep up by the time you hit that hill the second time around.
Yeah, just before 6 miles on the run course this year, you go up a hill, down the other side, do a U-turn, and then come on back into town.
It's going to be a creeper.
That's right. Well, that's our perspective, but let's get somebody else's perspective out on the course. We spoke to a few of the athletes during the week, and take a look at this.
First of all, you're going to see a scenic course. Coeur d'Alene is noted for the beauty of our lake, the beauty of the run course going out along the lake. As far as course, I don't think there's a more beautiful course in the United States.
That morning of, there's so many thoughts that go through as you're setting up your transition and heading down to the lake. Oftentimes, you know, you look out at that lake and it can be something that either calms you or makes you more nervous.
You're going to start seeing people just start to do I call it the Ironman shake, getting ready, positioning themselves where they want to be as far as taking off from the swim line. The excitement keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and when the gun goes off, it's every man for himself. It's going to be cool water. It's going to be around 58 to 60 degrees.
The first few minutes are the toughest, especially if it's below 60. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, you kind of get that ice cream headache a little bit.
It's going to be cool starting out on the bike, coming out of the water. People's hands and toes are going to be a little chilled. Once you get through Coeur d'Alene proper and enter the city of Dalton and going on to Hayden Lake, we start hitting the countryside.
Ironman bike course here, it's got some rollers, but no extended climbing. It's very scenic. You can see Hayden Lake from a good portion of it. Most of the rollers are short, steep little things that you can maintain your momentum.
I call them quad busters. Down and up, down and up.
Well, challenging as far as physically is definitely the wall or English Point Hill. And it's probably only 200-300 meters of really pretty steep. I'm not sure what the gradient is, but it's probably at least 10% there. You really want to pace yourself on the hills. People hit the hills and they see that as a challenge, so they start pushing the pace and they work over the hills and then they recover. Work over the hill and then recover. And after you do that 30 times or something, it starts to wear on you. The last mile or so of the course, kind of take some deep breaths, drink your water you got on your bike, because when you start the run, you're not going to be able to eat and drink for a little bit. You know, don't overdo it, of course. And catch your breath so that when you get into T2, you're organized, you're relaxed, you can get your shoes on and head out on the run.
Well, the run course, I guess, here has changed this year, so it's a little bit different.
You'll come out of transition, you'll take a hard left onto the seawall, you'll follow the arrows through the park, and you'll end up at the corner of Lakeside and Sherman. At that point, you're going to be running side by side with bikes. There is a hill in this course, not very far, only about a quarter of a mile to the top.
Called the Bennett Bay Hill. You're going to be going up the hill Out of that mile, approximately half of it is uphill and half of it's downhill. So you're going to be doing that hill both ways, both times. The downhill on that is a beveled edge, and so it's not only downhill, but it's got quite a sharp incline. So you really want to take it easy so you don't get blisters just from the sharp decline.
It's a downhill from the last turn coming off of 7th Street. If it's a sunny day, the sun's going to be right in your face. You're going to feel the warmth. You're going to hit the pavement.
Well, I would say approach the finish line with a lot of enthusiasm, because there's a ton of people that, you know, wait around to cheer you on. You really have to be a little bit cautious because they have this cordoned off area right before you get to the bleachers. So a lot of people sprint to that and then they realize, oh shoot, there's another like 50 feet.
As an athlete, I thought that was probably the best part of the course for me. Exhilaration of seeing the crowd about a half a mile down the street from me really put the fire in your legs. Of course, you pay for it when you cross the finish line. It was really like a pretty thrilling finish course.
So we're going to have about 20 men professional athletes, 11 female athletes. We've got over 2,500 age group athletes, and they will be starting this race come tomorrow morning. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the Kona points ranking system at the moment. So we've got a 1,000-point race, McKeely. We've got $25,000 on offer and 65 age group slots. So give us a rundown of the Kona points ranking system.
Well, you know, in the men's ranking system, it's a little bit different because we've actually got a new leader. We've got Tim O'Donnell, who currently took the lead after his debut at Ironman Texas not too many weeks ago.
Where he was second place to Aneko Janos.
Who is now currently in second place. Third place,
Reynard Tissink and Luke Bell, and rounding out the top 5 is Timo Bruck. But here in this race, Mate Tweltzik, he's trying to validate that spot. He's 16th right now, and I think he's got a great chance of solidifying his spot on the start line come October 8. Yeah,
definitely. He doesn't want to leave anything to the last minute, and that's why he's here. You know, he planned to do 3 or 4 Ironmans, so this is number 2 Ironman for him, and he wants to make sure that he gets those Kona points that he needs.
Exactly. Mate Tweltzik had a fantastic race at the Ford Ironman St. George just 5 weeks ago, where he was second place to his countryman and team member at the Commerce Team Bank team over there, and that was Matthias Heck. So good on you, Mate Tweltzik. But the man that we're all talking about, the man of the hour, Craig Alexander, the 2-time Ford Ironman world champion, is in the race, and all he has to do is finish the race to validate.
I know it sounds easy, but you know, he's struggling a little bit early with the virus, a rib injury, so we don't know what sort of form he has, but we know he's a champion, so he's definitely going to be going for it.
Exactly. On the women's side of things, Marinda Caffrey still leads our Kona points ranking system. Caroline Steffen from Switzerland is in second place. Leander Cave, Kelly Williamson, and rounding out the top 5 is Rachel Joyce from Great Britain. Now, it's interesting to note also Julie Dibbins from the UK, who's probably our favourite for the race tomorrow.
Definitely our favourite.
Is in our in 6th position right now and looking very, very solid.
Yeah, she's in a comfortable position in 6th, but for her, I think it's all about just getting the Ironman experience. This is going to be Ironman number 2 for her.
Exactly, and athletes of note this weekend, Caitlin Snow, one of the fastest runners in women's Ironman triathlon, is in the race. She's in 18th position, and also in 29th position and sitting right on the bubble right now because 30 girls get to go this year is Desiree Ficker.
Yeah, you know, she's in 29th and she definitely wants to make sure she moves up in the rankings. So this race for her is to get a good finish. There's no doubt about it. She needs the points. She wants to make sure that she gets to Kona.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about our women right now. Just talking about our girls. So Desiree Ficker's in the race. Julie Dibbins is in there. Caitlin Snow, Meredith Kessler. Give us an idea on who you think is going to take out this race.
I mean, we both agree that Julie Dibbins is the one to beat.
Speak on behalf of yourself, please.
Oh, come on. You know, are you not going to put $100 on the line right now? I'll put $100 on the line.
Definitely, Julie is our race favourite.
Although she doesn't have as much experience as someone like Meredith Kessler, who's coming in for her 40th Ironman. But,
and I think 33 of those was as an age group.
Yeah, so she definitely has the experience. You know, she's trying to come back from a DNF that she had in St. George 5 weeks ago. But, you know, don't count out someone like Caitlin Snow. As we said, she's speedy on the run, unbelievable run splits for her. And, you know, maybe a dark outside chance for a top 5 would be Hayley Cooper-Scott, you know, she's
local. She's from
a local,
Spokane,
so she'll be getting a lot of good support out there.
Yeah, and don't forget about Desiree Ficker as well, because Desiree did finish second place to our 2006 champion.
And
right
these cooler conditions are going to suit her.
Yeah, and I think so. I think that she'll do really well. All right, let's talk about our men right now. So our men's race this weekend is going to be very interesting. We've got Mate Twelczyk, we've got Tom Evans from Canada. He's won this race.
Several times.
Yeah, exactly. So in 2006 and 2007, he finished second, both times to Victor Siemtsev, before 2008 coming back and taking the victory, and it was an emotional one for Tom Evans. Also Craig Alexander. Now, you briefly said Craig Alexander's had a little bit of a rib injury. In April, he was supposed to start the Australian Ironman in Port Macquarie. He did not, because he had a virus and he was advised not to race, but he was coughing so hard that he tore a couple of intercostal muscles.
Which hurts a lot.
Which hurts a lot, and he's almost back. I personally think he's about 85 to 90%, but all he has to do in this race is to finish, to validate. But I don't know, honestly, if he can swallow that pride pill and just go easy. I think he'll have to go hard.
He's a racer, you know, he definitely thrives on racing, and he's got some great competition out there, and you know, he definitely needs some confidence from this race, because you know, when you're coming back from an injury, a sickness, you know, he did the hard work early, but he hasn't got that race fitness. He raced a couple of weeks ago, but he didn't have a great race. So I think it's time for him just to knuckle down, and he's going to do that.
Okay, let's bring in from Studio B right now. He is a part of the B team, of course. This is the A team right here. Mr. Matt Lieto, he caught up with the pros this week. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing good, Greg. Thanks so much. Good job on the pro picks. I can't say I disagree too much. Yeah, Craig's here to win, and Julie McKeely, I'll take that bet on $100 on Julie Dibbins. No worries there. But I had a chance to sit down with most of the favorites yesterday and talk about their races, their season, their training, how everything's been going. Also had a chance to speak with some of our favorites on the race course and kind of their personal perspectives and how they go about attacking the swim, bike, and run here in Coeur d'Alene.
It's looking to be like how it was a few years ago in Coeur d'Alene, where it was quite choppy. And the beauty of this course, I will say, is that it's only choppy usually out, and then you get a nice kind of flow back. So I think just there'll be a lot of Tarzan swimming, and that's for two reasons. Is one, to keep my eye on the buoys with the chop, and two, because for me personally, I tend to breathe better when I'm up versus to the side when the chop is constantly going. So I'm really looking forward to coming back home and then getting on the bike and settling in.
In terms of gearing on this bike course, I would probably use an 1128 or a 1228 because the climbs are steep. They're on the steeper side, but the descents are steep as well, so you can really ride up a good portion of the climb based on just descending. So you go down the descent at about 35-40 miles an hour, and you can get halfway up many of the hills. But then you really need to focus on shifting. It is a pretty technical course from that respect. It's a lot like mountain biking. I found myself having to do sudden shifts down to my small chainring from being in my largest gear available, big, small, into my smallest chainring just to maintain a cadence.
I think the change of the run course will play into a runner's strength, obviously, because they added in a whole nother hill. I actually liked the change. I didn't like that out and back. Like, it was sort of a play on your mind. You're like going away from town a little bit, and then you had to go all the way out of town. So I'm glad that it's just all a straight shot out, and then I like the hills. I thrive on the hills, so. I'm excited for the change and look forward to heading up the hills. I say that now, but on my second loop I might be regretting my words. We'll see.
There you go, some really great insight from some of our top pros on how to go about racing this course here on the swim, bike, and run. As Greg and McKeely said, we've got Julie Dibbins and Craig Alexander here racing. Not very often you get some of the Kona favorites and the best in the world racing here at Ironman Coeur d'Alene, so this year is going to be a treat to watch them race. I got to sit down and ask them kind of what their goals were and how they were going to approach the race here tomorrow.
Obviously the first goal is just finishing here to satisfy the qualification. But more than that, it's it's another chance for me to learn as much as possible. Like, I still don't really think of myself as an Ironman athlete, and I need to get my head around that, and the only way to do that is to race. So, you know, I'm going to be trying to learn as much as I can, nutrition-wise, just pacing, and especially on the run, you know, just try and see what I can do on the run. You know, there's some tough girls racing here with Caitlin, you know, one of the faster runners on the circuit, so I know that, you know, chances are she's going to be chasing me down, so I'm not going to be able to back off at all.
You know, I'm not just here to roll around on the weekend either. I'm going to race to win, or race as hard as I can, for as long as I can, and however long that is will be dictated by my level of fitness, I guess, and the other issues that I've had. But yeah, I don't turn up to races to train or just to validate. I race to race, and that doesn't mean race to win, but it means race to do the best that I can, and that's what I'll be doing on Sunday.
There you go, 2 different perspectives on how these athletes are going to attack the course and what their priorities are. I know both these guys, and they are the 2 most competitive people on earth, so I think they're both going to get out there and attack it pretty hard and go for the win, no matter kind of what they're saying here on camera. Expect to see some fireworks out there on course. Well, enough from the B team over here in this studio. Back to the A team. Makila, you got some words on our host city here at Coeur d'Alene.
Thanks so much, Matt. You know, for the last 9 years, the Coeur d'Alene and city and the areas surrounding Coeur d'Alene have helped the Ironman athletes
immensely.
It's been an amazing journey the last 9 years. It's such a wonderful city, and the Ironman Foundation realizes this. And last night at the welcome dinner, they actually donated $15,000 to the city of Coeur d'Alene to provide more activities and opportunities for the children in this wonderful area. And I would love right now for you guys to see the video on this area. It's so beautiful.
My name is Todd Christensen. I work with the Coeur d'Alene Area Chamber of Commerce, and I serve as the president and CEO. This is our 9th year here in spectacular Coeur d'Alene. Great opportunity to host athletes from across the world, across the globe here in our pristine lake, bike on our perfect streets, and then run on our great trails that are available in our community. Lake Coeur d'Alene is identified by National Geographic as one of the top 5 pristine lakes in the world. It's a community that has an anchor of hospitality. During the summer, you have activities on the water, parasailing, float plane rides, renting boats, renting kayaks, paddle boards, swimming in the lake, golfing. In the winter, we have ski recreation, winter recreation, inclusive of snowmobiling, alpine skiing, cross-country skiing. Just bring your suitcase and everything else is available here for you. Coeur d'Alene is a city started in the 1860s after the Civil War. Fort Sherman, which is here, is now known as the Fort Ground. We're on the Mullen Trail from Seattle to Chicago. Coeur d'Alene goes back to the Coeur d'Alene Indian tribe, which means the heart of the all. And the Coeur d'Alene Indian tribe, by the fur trappers and traders, were recognized of having a great business acumen. And they have that strong business acumen today. You know, you talk about, or you ask the question, why is Coeur d'Alene Ironman so successful? It's in a community where you can still feel like a person and that you're in a community. You're not in this large metropolitan area. You're a place where you can come in, you go into a local restaurant. By the end of the meal, they're going to know your first name, they're going to know your last name, and they're going to know what your life story, because they want to know. We're a community that's focused on hospitality. We're a community that's focused on hometown hospitality. The simple reality is we have over 4,000 volunteers, and that's more than what we need to be able to staff effectively and safely Ironman. So it is a representation of how well our community welcomes Ironman to Coeur d'Alene. It's such an incredible high energy thing to be out here before 7 a.m. in the morning and see athletes go into the water. But to me, the most inspirational thing is when you're down here at 10, 11, quarter to 12, right when the cutoff is, and here are individuals that's made it a life challenge, and they come across. They're exhausted, but it only takes them a few minutes to overcome that exhaustion, because then the pure adrenaline and the recognition that what they've accomplished. Absolutely inspiring. You know, we look at this as our 9th year. We look at many more successful years in the future in working with Ironman. We've talked about the partnerships with our volunteers, partnerships with our local sponsors, partnership with our local hospital, partnership with our local lodging facilities, our downtown association. All of that comes together, and we've talked about a sense of community. We all come together, and we look forward to coming together with Ironman for future 2012, 2013, and beyond Ironmans in spectacular Coeur d'Alene.
Yes, this truly is a great community, McKeely. You know, not only $15,000 going to the city of Coeur d'Alene for the, you know, school and educational programs, but $10,000 was donated by the Ironman Foundation as well to the Croc Centre, where you've been spending a little bit of time lately.
Yeah, you know, it's a wonderful facility there. They have a beautiful indoor pool. They actually have a little kiddies lake to play in as well, a fantastic gym, basketball courts. It's just an amazing indoor facility.
Yeah, well, you know all about that. You've been out there training while I've been doing all the research for you and Matt, so good on you.
Someone's got to do it.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us here at IronmanLIVE and Ironman.com. That's where you will find all the information. Today's ramp-up show has been brought to you by Ford, the official vehicle of Ironman. Ford, drive one. All right, and don't forget, tomorrow you can also join us on the social media sites, facebook.com/IronmanTry, and also at Twitter at IronmanTry.
And we'll be here bright and early tomorrow morning. We're going to be starting off the show at 6 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, followed by the pros start at 6:25 Pacific Daylight Time. And then, of course, we have our wonderful age group athletes getting to live their Ironman dreams at 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's right, over 2,500 of those athletes, and we can't wait to see them having a great old time out there. The spectators will be walking up and down the side as well, following their favourite competitors in the race. And also, don't forget to check out all of our text updates by Sean Skeen and Amanda Regg. It will be a lot of fun tomorrow. We can't wait to see you. On behalf of Matt Lieto, McKeely Jones, I am Greg Welch, saying we'll see you tomorrow.